Okay, today I want to guide us through in much detail on EduCare Finance. So, from your school URL, you can put in your details and then you log in. So, this particular guide is only for EduCare Finance for schools. In the next video, I'm going to do a detailed guide for EduCare Finance for businesses. So, right now, I'm expecting that your admin must have given you as a finance director or the junior accountant their roles that can specifically take you to where you are meant to perform your actions or your job. So right now, I'm logging in as the admin who have super roles. Once I click on login, the system is going to now log me into my profile. So it's logging into my profile. I can see everything in the school. So what I need to do now is on the left bar, I scroll down a bit and I look for finance. Once I see finance, I click on this. So here you can see a list of so many things you can do, starting from adding account details, charting your account, configuring your balance sheet, setting up the system to allow invoicing and payment, setting up discounts and issuing discount, managing account heads, store and inventory, managing warehouse for schools who have warehouses, store pickup units, store appointment manager. This works best for people who want to, this works more for schools who have larger numbers and they don't really want parents to cluster in school. So they can book appointments for measurement, they can book appointments to come and pick up items. And once they come, they can now pick the items to avoid any form of cluster. We have the strong front desk. You can use this one more on the talk shop. This one works very well. So now you come to budget. This is where we're going to prepare our budget, a complete budget. And once you are spending in line with the budget, you will see how the items are reducing. You can do your annual budget. You can even break it down to termly budget. Just depends on how you want to structure your own organization. I will walk you through the requisition system. I will walk you through request form. Request form is really helpful. I will walk you through it on how it works. The requisition, we're also going to take out your manual requisition. I know currently many schools, what they do requisition via email or writing paper. We're going to show you a seamless and highly automated requisition system. It's being initiated, it's been approved, and it's been authorized, and money leaves the system. I will show you through posting. This is where you want to post older transactions because you want to have an accurate income statement. I'm going to show you that as well. Now, direct transfers, petty cash, salary advance, payroll, on how to process your payroll seamlessly. I'm going to walk you through bonus and reduction pack, broad views, income statement, finance cash transactions, sales and invoices. I'm going to walk you through every single thing on Educare Finance and also show you the wallet system. Wallet system is like an internal bank for the parents in the school so that they can keep money, and when you want to make purchases, they can pay from the wallet or they can even pay directly. So I will show you that. So first thing is, as an accountant, you just started using Educare. The first thing is you need to list your account numbers. Here you can see we have some accounts here. We have Norban accounts and we have the ledger accounts. If you want to add any new Norban accounts, click here and you can see the list of banks. So currently this is available for schools in Nigeria. You can see all the available banks in Nigeria. You can see them here and you can add them, right? We also allow multi currencies. You can do Naira, dollar, yen, franc, euro. We have all these available right now. So once you add the bank and put in the account number, automatically you see how the system is going to resolve and give you the account name. Then you add the alias and then you add. It's just that simple. So carefully look for the bank so you can add multiple banks. So schools usually have several banks. They can have a bank for uniform, they can have a bank for bus fee, they can have a bank for tuition, they can have a bank for sundry. So you can add different banks, and as you put in the bank, you can put in the account number, it will resolve here. Once it resolves here, you put in the name that you want to use to identify it, and then you add. Just that simple. The same thing is you want to do for the ledger account. This is where you're going to add your ledger account number, put the alias, and you add. You can choose the currency it is. Is it naira? Is it dollar or other currencies here? Now, by the time you are done adding your bank account, first thing is that you are going to now set your opening balance. Here, you can now click on this place. If you click on this place, the system will pop up for you to set your opening balance. You set up for you to put your opening balance. Once you put your opening balance, this is usually the how much you have currently in your account. Set the opening date and then save. Automatically, the system syncs with your state in your bank account, and then you can also decide where do you want the money to settle. So you can see wallet here and you can see bank. So I'm also going to walk you through because by default, your school will be onboarded on Switch app. So when you say wallet, wallet means once payments come in, they are settled in your Switch app, which is also a virtual bank that you can use to do all your transactions. It's deeply connected to EduCare. If you want bank, what it means is that once payment come in, the next day by 4 p.m., the money settles into your bank account. So any of the options you want to be able to switch, once you click on this, it switches to bank and all. If okay, I've not connected it here, and if I click on it again, it switches to wallet. So every single thing you want is carefully captured there. Switching is just click and unclick, and everything goes well. Now let's set up the chart of account. So by default, we've already preloaded a lot of data for you for chart of account. If you come here, you can see here, if I click on upload chart of account, if I have my chart of account in an Excel format, which we're already going to give you a template, if I click on this, the system will pop up requesting that will give you a template. If you download the template and populate yours like that, you can easily upload. It's just that simple. Then we already have some preloaded samples that if you wish, maybe you don't even understand how it works and you want to use our verified templates, once you click on this, the system will automatically populate your entire system with our verified chart of accounts. You can now make your edits as you wish. Now, if you want to download just what we have here, once you click on download, the system will enable you download it. So now the first thing is if I come here, the entry types, credit is plus and the debit is minus. You can edit this. You can delete this if you want, but I don't think you have any need to delete or edit here. Come to entry types, you can set up your transactional entry types. So what I would strongly recommend is as you are setting up your chart of account, do a little bit more finding. If you're not an accounting professional, do a little bit more finding. Know how to prepare your account. Because the way you prepare your account is the way your account will be presented. So the system is done in such a way that it gives you all kinds of flexibility to do things the way you feel is the best. So you can set up your transactional type. So all those things you can add more, you can remove, you can edit. You can edit here. All these things you can edit them. Now, account types. This is where you now fully set up your account types, revenue, expenses, equity, asset life. So any of these things, remember, always do a little bit more findings if you are not an accounting professional so that you can prepare your account properly. So after that, go to chart of account. This is where you now add your items. So the good thing about this one is as you're now charting your account, probably you have some preset accounting codes or you can start creating different accounting codes. You can edit what is currently in the system here, or you can just set here. So to be able to add new item, let's say I want to add diesel supply. Let's say diesel supply. So the account code, sorry, the account code is 4003. And first thing you have to hit enter. I'll call it diesel supply. I will hit enter, select the group is an expense, subgroup, let's say transitional entry. So you have to always edit this part, like I mentioned. Then this is a debit. Once I click on this, the system automatically adds it for me. So if I look for diesel supply right now, if I look for diesel supply right now, I can see it here. It's just that simple. I can decide to edit it for anything I want, I can do with it. So right now, I will clearly show you how easy it is to be able to handle your chart your account and do your core setups. For your balance sheet configurations, you go to entry types. You can add more items in the entry types. You can edit the items in the entry types. come to balance sheet group, these are the core items you have to see on the balance sheet group. So now let's do account setup. Most of the time, depending on your role, if you are the head of accounts, you probably may see this in your own role. But if you are not, you probably may not see this account setup. This is where you can see by default switch app is connected to your system here. Now you can see the account head. This is where you set up your account heads. You want to have account head for school fees, you want to have account head for primary, you want to have account head for secondary, you want to have account head for uniform, any of these things. If you want to separate them, fine. If you also want to combine them, fine. So it just all depends on your own preference. So here, let me show you how to add account head. Let's say I want to add nursery 2 fees as an account head. Ideally, it is not right, but let's say I want to add nursery 2 fees, so it nursery 3 fees, and like who do I want to have access to this? Admin, and let's say account officer, or depending on the role that I've created for that. And I click on this. So on under which item is it? This is an income. So it depends on how I charted my account. I can pick it, put it in any of the income items. Let me just pick any item here. Let me just call it, put it under registration. This is a fee item. So we have different items here. We have fee item, we have admission. So when I'm setting up an admission account, I have to um, set it up admission. So this is the difference. In the fee item, you can see how easy it is. You can see how it looks, right? So it's not asking me for any other further information. If I switch to admissions and I provide the currencies, this is what happens. The system will now wait for me to be able to now start adding. You can see, you can select my gateway and all. The system can now ask me to start adding on based on the schools I've set up. So if I set up schools now, you'll start seeing for early years how much, for junior school how much. So when you set up your school, you will see that difference in your own. Then I can change to store. Store is also very different. Can change to post entrance. You can see now. So this particular post entrance now was already tagged under admission. You can see here for high school, I can put, let's say it's 20,000. I can put for junior school, I can say it's 23,000, and I can put for high school. So this exactly what other works for admissions and also for post entrance. Then I can also choose wallet. Wallet account head is specifically for what, like I mentioned, wallet is a way whereby parents can store money within the school and also use it for in purchases, either school fees payment or store item purchase. You can do for transcript, you can do for salary. So every of these core items, we already designed a special account head for them. If you miss it, you will definitely going to encounter a challenge. So I will show you by the time we do this. So here now, this one is fee item, this one is fee, and you can see it's in Naira. So when you see correspondence, what correspondence means is once a payment is made, once any payment is made, this correspondence will receive an email immediately. So you can add as much as you want. You can remove. If you want to remove, you can remove anybody here. You can add more people here so that you can see that they will receive emails once any form of payment is made. So come here and then you click add. Once I click on add now, the system will add it. So if I search for nursery 2 fee type now, you can see nursery 3. So this the type is fee, right? And this system allows online payment. So online payment can happen under this head. So you can see here we have admission form under admissions. We have salary under salary. Remember, let me go back here again so that you don't get confused. If I come in here, I'm looking, let's say I'm typing salary. The account head I'm going to use here is salary. What I'm going to use here is salary. It's very important we note this. It's very, very important we note this. Now, we have salary, we have other. So you can create multiple fee types. You can create multiple salary types. It just all depends on you. You can see sales. Sales and services are the ones you use under sales and invoices. So that sales and invoice is definitely you are going to use it more for transactions that are not school fees types. Let's say someone is trying to book your school hall or your school field. You're not going to raise an invoice like a student. The invoice we are going to raise for them is a special type of invoice, which is why we have sales, and then we also have the service one. So you have all these things in the system. So take your time, familiarize with this. You can create, you can edit, and you can delete. By the time you stabilize this, so all these account heads are what you are going to see when you come to manage accounts. And so if you have the access to the roles, you can see all the account heads here. You can see the most recent one I added. These are the things they are going to see. And each account head has its own complete activity because every single transaction that's happening under an account head, you will see it. So that's why setting up these things carefully is very important. Now, going back to setup, you can see how we've been able to do this. So normally, first thing you need to do is set up your financial year. So by default, the system picks the current session as the financial year. So you can now edit. Once you are editing, you can call it any title. And once you are done calling it any title, you can call it 2022, 2023, or let me say 2023, 2024 financial year, financial year. So, and then opening dates, I can say opening date is um, today, which is I can say 20th. Sorry, this is 2022. Let me look for 2023. September. I can say September 21. So this is how it is here. Once you are done, you save. Automatically, once you save, the system updates it for you. You can see here now 2023, 2024 financial year, and you can see it's active, right? So by the time you are done, we also have what we call permissions. In as much as we can give large permission roles, we also want to give specific roles. So here you can now see where different things, who can edit chart of account, who can create chart of account. By default, I can come here, I can give more people access. I can, and to give access, I can remove this person, I can edit, I can remove more people. Once I'm done, I save. So if you are not given the permission, you cannot be able to do anything. So I can remove everybody, I can just give one person permission. So we have so many things here. You can go through it one after the other to be able to see other things here. You can go to the next one. You can see budgets, who do you want to control different things. So you can now give specific roles. So the admin or the finance controller have to carefully look through this thing and give the cost specific roles. Now, once this is done, the next thing is let's manage discount. So here, EduCare allows you to create all kinds of discounts. You can name it whatever you want. We have item scope and we have invoice scope. So item scope is if I'm giving a discount on, let's say, a school fees bill of tuition, uniform, boarding, and all, and I want to give only discount on tuition, that is when you use item scope. And in the item scope, you can do per item, or you can do an exact amount, or you can do a percentage discount. So if I come in here, for instance, and I want to, let's say, new discounts item, and I call it test, or I can come here and click OK. Let's say I'm doing it for primary, and then item scope. If I select item scope now, the system will now ask me specifically for the item. If I do invoice scope, so invoice scope now, is it percentage or exact fee? Percentage is, I can say 5% of the entire fee, or I can just say I'm giving you only 5,000 discount, and I can just select preceding charge this, and I can add. Once I add, you can see that this one is already captured as a discount type. It's already captured now. You can see this particular discount is an exact fee discount and it's 5,000. So anytime I generate an invoice for any child that's linked with this, the system will automatically take 5,000 from that bill and also note it as a discount. So now let me link this discount. Looking at this now, I've already created the discount type. I can create multiple discount types as I want. And after that, I can now click on link discount. So who do I want to access the value of this discount, and how many times do I want this person to access it? So in this case now, I want to now say, okay, I've created multiple discount types. And once I've created multiple discount types, I want to say, okay, high school, I will just say, I want to give this test. And for a school that has burden, if they don't, I'll just say, okay, let me just look for the child. I have 253 children here. I can pick uh, Akoyere Michael. So here, how many times do I want this discount to be used? I can say once. I can leave it. Once I leave it open, it will always appear on any of the bill raised for the child. If I just say once or twice, it will only be used two times. So if I click link discount, the system will automatically link the discount to this child. So if I come back to manage discount here, come watch closely now, linked child, I have just one. If I click on this now, you can see now Akoyere Michael, and the maximum usage is two. Number of users zero. So no invoice has been linked with this discount. Now, I believe this is very clear. So take your time, go back to the video, rewatch the entire process. It's just that easy. Once you set up your discounts, the system handles the bit. So now, after the discount, let's go now to the content. Let's generate an invoice. Let's clear an invoice. Let's go to manage account. At this point, I want to pick the account head. So it depends. Have a school fees account head, all kinds of account head. Let me pick the nursery 3 fee account head that I just created now. First thing is, once I come here, look through this, you'll see how much you're expecting. You see how much that have been paid, how much in debt, total fees, total issued discount, claim discount, total installments. You can see by the time I generate bills now, you will now see how the children will populate. In this system, you can generate bill for the entire school in just one instance. You can generate for a particular class in one instance. You can generate for just a child. So all kinds of flexibilities you want is available. You can quickly get statement. You want to know within this period, you want to know how many people who paid or who people who haven't paid for different year groups or for just specific classes. You can do that for boys or girls and download the statement or download PDF. It's just that easy. You can do that. But first thing, what we need to do first is go to bills. Once you go to bills, you can see here, you can change your logo, right? Let it be your school logo. You can also change the color. Once you do change the color to the any of the colors that you feel best, and you can just save. Once you save the template, the system makes the edit and inherits the color and the template you want. Now go to build setup. Bill setup is we want to now set up. So normally what you do is looking at your bill, we have categories and we have subcategories. So in the main categories now, we have either school fees or uniform. It is very common. You can also have some major categories. Under uniform, you can now have socks, cardigan, and all. These are sub items under uniform category. Under school fees, you can have tuition, you can have developmental fee, and so many of these things. So now let me create two main categories. I'll call it school fees. Then I'll leave it at iterative. Iterative is that it's going to focus just on those key items there. Save, and then I'll create another one here. I'll create another one here. I'll call it uniform, and I'll leave it as iterative. So now here, I'm now going to add sub items. So I can call it tuition. Tuition is, I'll call it, let me, tuition is under school fees. It's under school fees here. Now, I can also have, let's say, development fee, and it's under school fees. Then let me now do one that is under uniform. I can call cardigan is under uniform. So right now I'm done for now. So you can add multiple items. So you can see that this thing. So the good thing is that by the time during your setup, if the parents are paying online and you've done this setup, once payment is made, the system can automatically do the settlement on the accounts attached to different heads. So there's some interesting part of automation that the system handles in that part. So do your setup very, very well. So by the time I'm done, let me create a bill. Click on create bill, click on create bill. So once you click on create bill now, so another thing I'm also going to show you is how the system can now also create bill for an active section or a futuristic section. So right now, I want to create bill for first term. So here I can select the term first term or full session. Also, I can select the invoice title. If I feel that the title here doesn't fit into what I want, I can just create a new one, first term nursery. I can call it first term nursery and then I okay it. Once I okay it, I can just look for the nursery part. I can pick it. Here, normal invoice by default is normal. If I say a prospect invoice, so what it means is that it happens majorly in third term, whereby we don't even know the classes the children are going into. So what happens is that, but I know that someone in GSS1 is actually going to GSS2. So I can now say, okay, prospective invoice. So what it means is that if I'm doing an invoice for someone in GSS1, I'm prospecting it to GSS2. So what is the level? Year 7, expected current class this. So now, let's say this person is in year, let me just use year 8. This person, what I'm doing now is I'm going to say, okay, level I'm going to select here now is going to be year 7, knowing that I'm expecting this person to be going to year 8. So that is the way the prospect invoice is created. So aside from this, I'm going back to normal. I'm picking a class. Let's say I can just do so right now. I can do for I see that the school has 252 children. I can do for everyone. I can just pick a class. Let's say year 7. You notice something, the numbers has gone down. I can do for the entire year 7. I can do for a specific child, or I can just take break it down a little bit more, and then you can see I can just do for just this class. So if I can want to do this, observe this carefully. Observe this carefully. I'm going to do this. Click on this. I can select all. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to click on this space. Click. If you notice, once I clicked, so this thing disappeared. If you miss this step, you are definitely going to encounter a challenge. Once you do this, you click on Add Group to List. What you'll notice now is if you scroll up a bit, you'll see that we have 16 students added. If I click on this, I can see all these 16 students added here. Once I close here, I can scroll down a bit. I can scroll down a bit and then I will proceed. Remember what I did here. Don't make the mistake. Make sure you click on the empty space before you add group to list so that they can batch it. So once you click on proceed to invoice here, now what I'm going to do next is, so these are the items currently I have. Remember, I also have a uniform. So let me now create a bill. Let's say the tuition is 50,000, the development fee is 180,000, and then the is uniform is 70,000. So at the end of the day, you can see the way the system breaks down based on category and sub items, and now you can see the total fee is this. Another thing I also want to show you is, you may want to start creating these things based on classes, and you wouldn't want to always type these figures to avoid errors. You can save as a template. I can say three nursery three fees. So once I save this template, this is what is going to happen. Next time, if I want to generate this bill, I don't need to start typing this. Once I come here and select this template, the system will automatically populate everything. It's just that simple. So what I need to do here is if I have a footer note like an instruction, I click here, give further instructions if I want. If I don't, I'll come in here and then generate invoices. Now, the system will generate invoices. So I want you to watch what happened now. I did invoice for just a class. You can see if I click on view invoice, you'll see everybody's invoice. You see I didn't add a logo, so you could have seen the logo. See everybody's invoice. We did 50,000 for tuition. We did 180,000 for development fee, and we did 70 for cardigan. The system generated with the parent name and the child's name, and with classes and everything. The system have generated invoice for the entire class. This is the same sequence you can use for a child. This is the same sequence you can use for the entire school. So every single thing is generated. Coming back here now, once I click publish, the parents will get an email notification that an invoice has been published. And at this point, the parents can now pay their fees online, which is highly recommended because it removes any form of human error and the reconciliations are automatic. So once parents pay, they get their receipts immediately, the schools or the record is updated and everything is seamless. However, if you don't want to go that route, I will also show you how to collect fees in the school internally. So if I click on publish, I will not click on, but if I click on publish, parents will see it. So right now, I can come here, dismiss. If I go to analysis, watch what is going to happen now. Here is going to be populated. The system has completed it. I'm expecting 4.8 million from the invoices and the amount I've generated. You can see the list of the children right now. So if I want to attend to just one person, click on this, not paid, and then click on not cleared. You can now see the invoice. You can see the invoice. I can even share via WhatsApp. I can download the PDF. I can print. So all these things are available in the system. So now, coming back here, I want to show you how, let's say, a situation whereby parents have done a transfer to manual bank and the parents want to now do the settlement. You want to now accept it. So let me say, I'm going to give you two scenarios. One is when a parent pays full and when a parent did part payment. So this first one, I'm going to collect the money in full, and the next one, I'm going to collect part. So the first one is this, I'm going to collect in full. These parents paid full. What I'm going to do is select payment method. It's just that simple. Bank transfer, POS, web, any of the options they use. Bank transfer, select a bank, access bank, generate the reference for them, and then confirm the date. This can be a recent date, can be an earlier date. Any of the dates it happened, I can just pick this date. That was when the transaction happened, and I click on confirm. Once I click on confirm now, you will notice now that the system has generated a receipt. At this point, your invoice have automatically switched to become a receipt. You can see it, and the parents can have it. Now, beyond just this, if I come in here and refresh, see what's going to happen now. If I come in here and refresh, see what's going to happen now. I can now see that this child's invoice is now has switched from not paid to paid. You can see that the system has acknowledged that we have 300,000 as a paid item. You can see that our debt have reduced by 300,000. Our total payment is 300,000, right? Now let me allow partial payment. These parents complain that I'm so sorry, I can't afford it, and this is how much I have now. Click on not paid. Once you click on not paid, I can now, first of all, what I'm going to do now is change instrumental payment slot on the bill. I'll now say yes. Let's say I want to give this parent maximum time is 5 instrumentals. I will click on save. Once I click on save, this is what is going to happen now. The interface will change. You can now see that I have 5 maximum instrumental 5. I can come down here. So this is what's going to happen now. Collect. I'm going to say collect part payment on this bill. I will now click on this. Yes. So now let's say parent is paying 150,000, and then system also allows you to collect. Let's say I want to just pay for tuition and I don't want to pay for uniform and co. System can allow you to collect part payment on a specific item. You can see on tuition here, I can just say, you know what, let me just pay tuition 50,000. So the system is only taking 50,000 and it's just for tuition. I can select the payment method. I can select the bank. I can generate the reference, confirm the date of the transaction. I can make it today, and then this is it. Once I'm done, I'm now going to confirm instrumental payment. Just watch this, watch the process. You can go back again to ensure that you understand it very well. Once you click on confirm instrumental payment, this is what is going to happen. The system have recorded now that I have paid for, this person paid for only tuition. You can see it, right? You can see the invoice is now showing uncleared. And now you can see no payment for development fee, no payment for cardigan. And you can see now that total instrumental payment is 50,000 and the total balance is 250,000. This is what we currently have in the system. So now, if I come back here now and refresh, this is what is going to happen now. If I come back here and refresh, the system will now show me that particular payment. Just a moment. The system will now show me that particular payment and then the balance that's remaining. Just a moment. You can now see that the total payment right now, there's a 50,000 instrumental payment. The total payment has now switched to 350, and you can see we did not add it to completed because this is not a completed payment. You can see that this one has reduced again by 50,000. you can see that this particular invoice now has a total paid is now 50,000 against a 300,000 invoice. So this is how you can be able to handle these cases and then clear all the invoices and handle all the batches. If you want to edit an invoice, click on this and you can edit an invoice on the spot. Click on this. Let's say it's some children, we are taking some things and children are not taking something. And this child, you generated a group invoice. I can remove something from this. I can say, okay, this child doesn't pay for cardigan. I can remove it. And once I remove it and save changes now, this is what is going to happen now. If I remove it and save changes now, you just notice that this particular person's invoice will now reduce. If I use the same sequence, if I want to add, so if I come in here now and look at this particular person's invoice now, let me just refresh to get the data. If I refresh, you'll now see this particular person's invoice will be different. Um, just trying to get the name. You can see the name here, Ejeta Rume. It has now changed, it has reduced now because it doesn't have all the items now. If I come here and click on this, I can now see the invoice and the items here. After that, if I want to edit and add more items, I can edit also and also add, let's say cardigan is 89,000. I can also now add it here. So this is how to edit and add invoices. So it's just that simple. Now, I also want to show you whereby situation whereby you've made mistake and you want to retrieve the invoice. If you want to retrieve the invoice, that's you want to delete this invoice for just one particular child, because you want to delete and recreate it. Here also, you notice that this person's bill first has now changed to 319 because I edited the figure. I can click here if I want to edit, click here and just retrieve. Once I click on retrieve now, the system will now retrieve this invoice and this invoice will be pulled out of the system. I can decide to edit it, I can decide to recreate it. So that is how the system handles that sequence. It's just that easy. So now I believe that you've been able to go to understand how invoices are created. So if you have, please, I want you to go back and watch this video again so that you can understand it a lot more better. So once I'm done with this, go back to finance. So this is exactly what you need to do. So after that, store and inventory. Adding item in store is very easy. Adding item in store is very easy. It's very easy. So if you want to add an item in the store, what you just need to do is, first of all, you need to create suppliers, add your suppliers. You can add suppliers as much as you have. You can on the item too, you can also add items here. So creating an item here is just that simple. Do you want the item to be displayed in store? So once you say yes, parents can pay for this item in the store on their own interface. Parents can pay. If you said no, it is just an internally consumed item. Is it reusable or not? If the reusable item means, let's say, a football that some you are putting in the school store, someone can take it and return it. So if it's reusable, you say yes. If it's not, you can say no. So this is how you can create it. Put in the data sets here, location, or depends on whether you have all locations. Put in the price markup if you are selling, everything and save. Automatically, once you are done, the item will be created here. So also, we also have item categories. So if you come to categories, you can create different item categories as well because you want to categorize. You have books, uniform, after school care, all those items here. Another good thing about the store is that you can even put some services like clubs that you can sell. People can pay, parents can see clubs and subscribe here. So you can do both physical and digital items here. We have the warehouse. Warehouse is exactly like store, but the warehouse, what we have now is stock up request. So we have one warehouse and multiple stores. If they want anything, they can request for stock up. So warehouse is basically for schools who have probably multi campuses or are large enough that they have a warehouse and they also have a store. So the pickup unit, like I mentioned earlier, this one is for people. So let's even go to appointment manager. Just a moment. Let me go to finance. Let's say store appointment manager. From the appointment manager, we have an external link. Click on it. People can book appointments here. So you can book sizing appointment or store pickup appointment. So once they book the appointment, if you come in here, you will see the appointment and parents will also get a link. That's the verification on the appointment time and date is when they will use to come. So you see everybody on different dates, their appointments and what they are meant to do. So people who doesn't have appointment will not are not meant to come to the school. So this is it. Then coming to budget. Budget is where you prepare your budget. Remember, before you do your budget, you must have done your chart of account and all, so that you can see your items. So you can see, first of all, see budget categories, feeding this and that. You can create categories as you wish. As you are creating categories, you are putting them under the chart of account. It's very, 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 very important. So come in here, create a category, let's say fish or anything, and then put it under the chart of account, and then you add it as a budget category. Once you are done, go to list of budgets. Once you go to list of budget, let's create a budget. So let's say budget, you can say 2023 budget, and estimated income is 500 million. And then let's say estimated how much I'm budgeting is 200 million, and I'm setting it up for today. So once I come in here and click out and save the instance, what we are going to do next is click on this. Let's say I have for marketing, I can now put the amount I'm budgeting for feeding under the budget category that you saw that I set up. I can say this one 20,000. I can, or 2 million. I can say this one is 4 million. So once I'm done, I will do it across different account heads. By the time I'm done, you will save. So this budget is what you're going to use. So you can see the budget I'm creating now. If I want to make it active, I click on this. I said, okay, activate this budget. Once I activate this budget, all the activities, my expenses will now be working with this budget. So this is exactly what it does. So now the requisition. The requisition is also very important. So for the requisition, the requisition have a sequence. We'll have someone that initiates, we'll have someone that approves, we'll have someone that authorizes. For someone that initiates, so depends different roles. You are going to set it up. You do that in your setup. So during that setup, you say who do you want to initiate. You can allow the entire team to initiate. Requisition allow requisition for internal team of external team. So now let's say the staff initiates a requisition, let's say purchase meal and entertainment. How much is, let's say 300, 3,000, and meal for meeting, and then the income is, so you can see now I already have a budget for feeding. I can add it, and let's say I'm doing it for myself, or let's say staff in school, and I can pick any staff in school. Let's say Valentine here, and I can, if I have an invoice, I can attach here. Once I'm done, I just submit. You can see it's pending. The system already knows I am the one that initiated it. Because I have a super role, I can also approve. I can also approve. I can also approve this. I can see the details before I approve, and also the invoice if it's attached, and the chart of account. So you notice something here. See, this is the budget available for this. This is the amount. So by the time we approve and authorize, the item in the budget will go down, because you now be seeing the budget and the actual spending. This helps in your financial planning. If I want to authorize, I should have gotten an authorization code in my email, which I can use. Once I click on this, I can now put the authorization code. Once I click on authorize, money will leave the system and go straight to the person's account. So that is the way the system is structured. Now, request form. Request form is also very helpful. So you wouldn't want maybe all your staff. So your staff can come here. They want to make a request. Is it a normal item, a store item? So you are preparing for any event. I want a store item, girls uniform. Let's say for Christmas party or anything, I can request for the quantity I want. Put your priority, urgent level or minimum. Then if it's a normal item, I can make a request. So a teacher can make a request. If a teacher makes a request, the store people can approve it and then make a requisition for it. So this is just how simple it is. So you can see pending requests, you can see the approved one based on your role. Then the direct post. The direct post is when you want to do your posting. There's a lot of financial activity. even before you started using EduCare, but you need to capture every single financial activity so that your books will be in order. So here, this is where you now do your posting. Once you do your posting, you can post your transaction, come in here, put the description, test, observe this carefully, to 3,000, select the chart of account, generate the reference, select the date. Here, you must add to list. You must add to list. Generate a reference. You must add to list. You must add to list. Once, if you don't add to list, you will post an empty post. I can put multiple items here. There's three. I can put multiple items here. Select the chart of account, generate the date, and then add to list again. Then once I'm done, I submit posting. Once I submit posting, I, I submit posting. Once I submit posting here, you can see the item. If I come to pending, you can see the items here. These are the items I submitted. From here, I can now approve. Once I approve on this, automatically this item has already been captured in the system and is already forms part of my income statement. So we have it here in the system. So now salary advance works best for staff who wants to collect salary advance. They can do the application here. Once they do the application here, the duration of pay off and their reason for the request. Once it's been approved, the money will go to the account. But when you're generating payroll for the month, the system will automatically deduct that amount based on the approved repayment period. The payroll is very, very, very easy to use. Here, you must have done your HR setup, set up your payrolls and all the pay grades and all. By the time you are done, everything is done. Click on this. By the time you click on this, generate pay batch for September, automatically generate payroll for everybody. Now, what I just need to do is come in here, confirm different amounts. Anyone I confirm, I approve. Anyone I confirm, I approve. I can tick everything here and approve all if I feel everything is right. Once time I'm done approving here, the next thing to do now is just click on process payroll. Once I click on process payroll and put in my password and process, everybody will get their money immediately, including their pay slips sent to their email. Now, aside from that, you can do the broadsheet, which will show you a lot more detail on your finance. Come to income statement. At this point, this is where you now see. If you notice, we've done a tuition credit on this registration, school fees payment on this. If I am doing my debits, if I've posted some of the earlier debits, you will now see my debits based on their chart of account. You can now see my debits. So you see all your credits and all your debits. Everything is carefully captured. You can now see your financial health. Also, your balance sheet is generated on the fly, and your balance sheet is generated on the fly, and your trial balance is generated on the fly. Now, cash transaction, you use it more when there are issues, there are errors. Transaction was wrongly posted or all, and you want to revert it. This is where you now use the cash transaction to be able to revert that action. But normally, this is a view that is not public. It's only for the admin. Now we have the sales and invoice. Sales and invoice is very easy to use. So you want to generate invoices for non-school fees items like using the field or something that is different. Just come here, put in the vendor name, a new invoice. If there's a vendor is here, if there's not, just add a vendor name, put in their details here. Once you're done putting in their details here, they are now customers. You will just pick their detail here, put in the invoice for field, invoice for school hall. Then you can, what is the product? I can just add the name of the product, school hall, school hall for Saturday, booking for wedding. Then what's the quantity one? How much? 400,000. So I've done it already. The next thing I will just do, if I have a discount, either exact amount or percentage discount. If I have it, I will put it. If I don't, I will leave out discount and then generate invoice. Once I generate invoice, I can view the invoice. If you notice now, this is not a school invoice. They can see it's for school hall, booking for wedding, and this is the amount, and they can pay. Now, once you are done with this means I can also retrieve if I want. Once you are done with this, it's a lot easier. You can see the customers. You can also generate statement per customer. All this, you can see the audit trail, every single activity. You can configure it a lot more better here. Go to invoice settings. Please take your time and go through the system, play around it, edit, add. You can add the logo, edit. If you want account number to show on the invoice, you can do it here. All these things are easily done here. By the time you are done, then you can now practice this as much as you can. So here, this is exactly what happens. Then for the wallet, before you use the wallet, you have to ensure that the wallet is activated. And to activate the wallet for the entire school, just go to wallet settings. Ensure that do you want enable wallet account number, yes or no, so that every parent will also have a dedicated account number. This works best, whereby if they pay through it, the case of whereby someone paid through, let's say Danny Nigerian Limited or Danny and Co. You don't really know who owns the company, but if they pay to that account, the account is attached to their profile. You will definitely know who made the payment. If you want it to be automated, whereby if anybody has money in the wallet and money comes, the system should automatically take the money from wallet. Or there's a bill generated, they should build the wallet first before doing anything. The system allows that. You have to put in your BVN number, select the gateway available, select the corresponding wallet email so that if there's any activity that happens through wallet, you will also get an email. Once you do that, come in here and then generate initialize wallet for all parents. Once you do it, all parents will have wallets, they'll have wallet account numbers, and you can start using it. So this is it. Take your time, go through the video again, go through everything, experiment everything, make mistakes, correct yourselves, and make sure you have the best experience. If you need further guide, always reach out to the team and we'll be so glad to help you. Thank you so much and have an amazing day.